Winsborrow. How are you, Eric?
I'm great, thank you.
You did a fantastic talk. I really enjoyed it, being interested in tech myself. What did you share today?
Well, I talked about, as much as my customers would let me, quite frankly, what's really going on in cyber espionage today and how it impacts our lives.
And it's bigger than we think. It goes beyond just that classic spam mail we get and there's a virus.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is a lot of folks are saying, wow, I didn't know that, I didn't know that. Everything we know about is really decades old. It's the stuff that's going on now that's quite interesting.
Great. Now, what is some of that James Bond type activity that goes beyond the classic virus that we all are familiar with?
Well, what was interesting was, and that was a lot of the talk, was James Bond used to use technology. Now James Bond is technology. That you can't send people into some of the places where you need to go to quell a nuclear threat or something like that, and you actually send in programs, and programs that are actually quite smart. And there are other people sending in programs to take stuff from us and put us in danger. The only way you beat that is go to the next level. It's a bit of an arms race. It's always been that way. But one of the nice things I liked about when I was looking at how our own society has been changed is we looked at what was in the Cold War. The computer, the internet. I mean, these were things that were terrifying and terrible. And people build bomb shelters, but you realize you do it right, you can actually improve our own lives. You can actually improve world peace. I didn't talk about that, but if you think about it, I think what's going on in the Arab Spring they talked about, with us getting so involved now that it's autumn, they're now calling it the Arab Fall, because we're getting involved. We're watching it on Facebook. We're seeing it on YouTube. And the technologies that were, scary decades ago in the Cold War are now kind of doing the better job of creating peace. That wasn't my talk, but it's an interesting thing about technology. Some of the stuff I said was scary. I mean, there was a lot of people just sort of gasped, and I didn't want to take it out. We talked about that, but I said, this is the reality. But just like I said many decades ago, our own parents were terrified by those realities. We survived it because people were doing their job. There were people there making sure that we are safe, and then those technologies made our lives better. There are many people doing their jobs. We don't even know it. Every single day, protecting us and creating technologies that will continue to protect us, and then we get to use those technologies for something better. I think that's just the way it is. It's always, been that way through history, from crossbows right to the Cold War to now. We've always been threatened by things. We can't be afraid of it. We can't stick our head in the sand. We've got to be aware that it's there, but continue to live on.